Hello there, and welcome to another episode of Debbie Does, where I share with you some insights about what I'm working on in my online business so that I can market my products and services, get more exposure, and make sales, and ultimately help you do the same. So, in this episode of Debbie Does figuring stuff out. Let's get to it. Okay, so this episode was actually supposed to be about another topic, and I spent the last hour and a half figuring stuff out. Okay, and I know about this topic well because I know that when you're dealing with stuff, especially online, you're going to be dealing with technical stuff, you're going to be dealing with following step by steps, and a lot of the times, even though you might have a blueprint of stuff to follow, you're always going to hit stumbling blocks, okay? And you'll be working on something, and then all of a sudden it'll be 2 hours later and you've made no progress because you're just trying to figure stuff out. And I remember when I first started out, I was figuring out how to actually paste an autoresponder code into a website, and I didn't even know how to do that, and it was so frustrating, and I had to write in forums and get help and things like that. So after a few times, a lot of times of going through processes where I needed to just do some research and gain some knowledge, but then ultimately needed some help to get through, to get past it, and to get on to the next step. So a lot of times you're going to find that you can't complete something because you've pretty much reached a stumbling block and you can't move on until you overcome that hurdle, right? So this is going to happen. So here's what you do when this happens. So as I said to you before, this episode was supposed to be on Facebook conversion pixels. And what Facebook did was it decided to change its whole process on Facebook conversion pixels. And there's one little thing that I literally just spent the last hour trying to figure out because I can't wrap my head around it. Okay, so instead of doing this episode, I was dealing with figuring out how that actual piece will work in order to do Facebook ads and Facebook retargeting, okay? So because they changed it and I'm not familiar with it, I need to do some research. So basically, I hit a stumbling block and I can't move on. I can't even do any Facebook ads now because I can't overcome this hurdle yet. Okay, so what's going to happen when this happens to you is you're gonna work towards something, you're gonna pick your head up, and it's gonna be 2 hours later, and you're gonna feel like the whole day is gone, okay? After that point, you need to kind of just get up and just walk away from the problem, okay? Before you do that, what you wanna do is you wanna reach out to either a forum that might be able to help you and put you, lead you in the right direction. So basically you want to reach out to somebody who could potentially help you. Okay, and then after you do that, don't go back and wait for them to respond or try to figure it out yourself. You need to get up, walk away, and preferably don't look at your problem until the very next day. Because the very next day is when you'll either get the answer to your problem because that person might have written you back or anyone in that forum could have written you back. And second, you could be just looking at the problem in a different way with fresh eyes, and all of a sudden your problem is solved. So instead of me sitting here for another hour or two and trying to figure out this issue, I'm just going to, I'm going to say, hey, I'm going to make another topic for Debbie Does, and I'm going to talk about what I just went through for the past hour and a half, excruciating hour and a half, because of some changes that Facebook made that are out of my control, and it's probably less complicated that I'm making it, but it's a new thing and whatever. You know that it happens, and it's happened to me so many times in the past, I can't even tell you, where I couldn't get something to work, reached out to somebody either on Skype, on Facebook, on a forum, whatever it is, and I've gotten help. People are amazing online. Like, they will just help you. And yeah, and then the next day I walk into a solution that probably takes me less than 20 minutes to complete. All right, so I promise you this is going to happen even outside of your business, even outside of internet marketing. This is going to happen, and a lot of times you just need somebody's help, and you also need some fresh eyes, and just getting back to that issue, and then it automatically just solves itself the next day because you've done the right things to get to your end solution and your end goal, okay? So, sorry, this episode is not about Facebook retargeting or Facebook pixels, but there will be a future episode on that when I do eventually figure it out. All right, I will see you on the next episode of Debbie Does.